Hey there, welcome back to another video. Hyundai recently released the 2024 refreshed Elantra here in the United States, and in this video I want to cover everything that is changing in terms of the features and packaging, go over the updated styling both on the exterior as well as the interior, go over the drivetrain information as well as the pricing information for most trim levels here for the 2024 Elantra. So make sure to stay tuned, there's going to be a lot of information. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So I really didn't want to rush creating this video because I knew 2024 Elantras were starting to make their way onto dealership lots or start the transit process from the factory, and I was hoping Hyundai would have released a full pricing guide with all of the information in terms of the different trim levels, but unfortunately that is not the case as of me filming this video. However, the Elantras have started populating on local dealership lots, so I have been able to obtain many of the original window stickers which detail all of the pricing information for that exact trim level as well as the options and features. So that is where I've gathered much of this information, as a full pricing guide isn't quite available just yet, but I will have it linked down in the description below once it does become available. But as far as the overall format for this video, I do want to touch on the overall Elantra styling in terms of the exterior interior design, some of the material differences, then we'll touch briefly on the high performance N variant before getting on to the details as far as the different trim levels, all of the packaging changes, and then cover the pricing information to round out this video. Now, starting with the general changes to the Elantra's exterior design, every Elantra will now get new front and rear fascias, including thinner LED daytime running lights and overall headlamp assemblies with a metallic bar connecting the two pieces, a new two-piece grille with body-colored center element, new flat stainless steel Hyundai emblems which have debuted on the Ioniq 6, which we have seen here in the United States, as well as a rear diffuser with a wide U-shaped silver element out the back, as the tail lamps are going to be mostly unchanged from the pre-refresh models, which you do see here beside me. Now, along with this, you're going to have new front fenders, likely to help with the overall attachment of the new front bumper and the overall headlamp assemblies, new 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19-inch wheel designs across the entire lineup, so pretty much every trim level is going to have a new alloy wheel, which is very cool. And finally, new C-pillar trim, which features the parametric dynamics design theme, which I believe is Hyundai's new overall design theme for the new refresh Sonata, the new Elantra, the new Kona, and so forth and so on. So that's as far as the exterior design goes. In terms of overall safety equipment, new standard features include new side rear airbags, rear seatbelt reminder, as well as the steering wheel haptic feedback, which we have seen on other 2024 models as well, such as the Santa Cruz, the new Sonata, the Palisade. Pretty much every other 2024 model out there will have the new haptic feedback steering wheel. Now, moving on to the interior, new Elantras will get new soft touch front door panels, new interior color choices, a new H-Tex leatherette seating surfaces on the top limited trims, new 4.2-inch color instrument cluster, two rear USB-C ports for charge only, and then a new USB-C in the front port, I assume for data entry, and then finally a redesigned wireless charging pad to help overall ergonomics, getting your phone in and out of the charger, as well as just day-to-day usage. So nice to see the improvements here on the interior for this overall refresh. Now, next, moving on to the exterior color palette, we have an expansion of the current color palette onto additional trims where they were not available before, and we have a couple new exterior colors that were either formerly available on other Hyundai models or not available here in the United States, which is very cool. So, for example, Ecotronics Gray is available on every single trim of the new Elantra lineup, so whether you want it on the base SE or the top performance N version, that is going to be available. That is very cool. Ultimate Red, like I mentioned, is available on the current 2023 Ioniq 6. Looks fantastic, one of the best reds that Hyundai has ever produced, in my opinion. Again, available pretty much across the entire trim lineup. Exotic Green is exclusive to the N line with the 1.6-liter turbo, so that is very cool. And then finally, we have Amazon Gray, which is available across most of the normal Hyundai Elantras minus the top end. So those are just a few of the exterior colors that are going to be available. Of course, many of the other normal ones, including white, black, and stuff like that, will also be available. Now, quickly, I do want to touch on the high performance N version before we get into the exact trim level and pricing information. Now, for 2024, they made a lot of minor tweaks to the Ns to make it even more performance oriented, even more capable, not only on the street, but also the track, as well as added forged 19-inch alloy wheels that have been available overseas for several years that are now going to be available here in the United States. So that is one of my favorite aspects. But anyways, the Elantra N is going to get several improvements, such as the new front rear fascias, much like that Of the regular Elantras, you can get the 19-inch forged alloy wheels with the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Again, one of the huge improvements in my opinion. It's going to come standard with all of the normal aspects that we already know, such as the rear wing spoiler, the dual exhaust, the steering wheel and shift knob, which are N specific, the N lit sport bucket seats with illuminated logo, and a bunch of other items as well. Now, in terms of the Elantra N tweaks to the overall chassis and ride and handling, they did tweak the engine mount membrane, reinforced to improve the after shake and agility, the G bushing reinforcement for yaw response and steering precision, rear suspension ABS insulator change from rubber to urethane, ECS hardware improved for better enhancement and body control, ECS software optimized for hardware change that they did make there, the steering universal joint friction reduction for improved steering precision, the optimized motor-driven power steering software for the steering and chassis changes that they did make, and they did actually tweak the overall tire pressures that are coming from the factory to 36 and 34 in the front and rear versus the 35 and 33 that it is currently. So obviously just a small change in overall tire pressure can actually make the overall performance just that much better, not only on the street but also the track where the ends are capable. So those are just a few of the minor tweaks that they did mention for the 2024 N. Overall, I really do like the forged alloy wheels. But in terms of the other vehicles, the overall powertrain and drivetrain are going to remain a carryover. So you have the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, the 2-liter turbo found in that top N, the 1.6-liter turbo found in the N line, as well as the 1.6-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder in the hybrid variant with, of course, the electric motor and the small battery pack. So those are pretty much all going to be the same as the 2023 and prior in this current generation. So no changes there. But next, I do want to cover the exact packaging changes, like I mentioned, that I was able to obtain from the window stickers that I was able to download already. Now, once again, this might not be exactly 100% what changed for that exact trim level, but this is going to be most of what did change for the exact trims. So now, starting with the base SE, every Elantra is going to come standard with 6-speaker audio system, LED projector headlights with LED daytime running lights, as well as rear USB charge ports, again, standard across every Elantra. So those are some nice changes for the base SE. Now, moving up to the SEL, you're going to gain the 10.25-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation. Now, I assume this might also be paired to the 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster, but I was not able to confirm that 100%. I'll go ahead and insert some text on the screen so you guys know if that is the case or not. And this may also be the trim level that gains the integrated Wi-Fi hotspot, because Hyundai typically pairs their larger infotainment systems with the integrated Wi-Fi hotspot capability. So that is what I assume will be the case, is the Wi-Fi hotspot will be paired to the 10.25-inch infotainment system, but that is not 100% and might only be available on the upper trim levels in the lineup. Next, moving on to the SEL convenience, you're going to gain a power sunroof and 60/40 split folding seat backs over the current SEL convenience, again in addition to the standard LED projector headlights and some of the other features. The N line will gain the 8-speaker Bose premium audio system, which was formerly only available on the top limited as well as the top N, so that is a nice addition. Really wish Hyundai would have changed that a couple years ago. Finally, moving on to the top limited, we have the surround view monitor system, the blind spot view monitor, parking distance warning in the front of the vehicle as well as out back. So front and rear parking sensors are now going to be standard. You have Digital Key 2.0, which is available with the Android compatible devices as well as iOS. And then finally, the H-Tex leatherette seating surfaces versus the former genuine leather seats. So I assume this will be a little bit softer versus the former leather in the Elantras, because the H-Tex overall is a very nice plush material. So those are going to be the changes as far as the different trim levels. And finally, I want to conclude this video with the overall pricing information, because there is a little bit of surprise there. So now, in terms of the overall pricing, including destination, the base SE is going to start at $22,590. The SEL is going to run $24,540. The SEL Convenience is $26,290. And finally, the top limited is going to be $28,030. And next to each number, there'll be the increase over the 2023 model year. And as you can see, there are some hefty increases depending on the model that you are looking at, while others, including the top limited, only are going to go up about $415. So as a whole, I would say there are a few trim levels that stand out to me in terms of being slightly better values than some of the other models in the Elantra lineup. And I would have to say those two trim levels are the SEL Convenience as well as the top limited. Now, the reason I say those two trim levels in terms of being a little bit of a standout in terms of the overall value proposition is because, say, for example, the Limited, it only increased $415 over 2023, but you are gaining those additional features such as the surround view monitor, the front parking sensors in addition to the rear, the digital key 2.0, the H-Tex leatherette seating surfaces, as well as all the other items that they did change in terms of standard across every Elantra, the haptic feedback steering wheel, as well as the rear USB charge ports and so forth like that. So overall, I think the Limited is a good value for that reason. And I say the SEL convenience because yes, it did go up $1,400 or nearly $1,400, but you are gaining a power sunroof, the 60/40 split folding seats, the LED projector headlights, the rear USB charge ports, haptic feedback steering wheel, and again, everything that they did make standard for 2024. So that is kind of why those two trims stand up as far as my overall value proposition and the 2024 models, but overall it does come down to personal preference, what you value in a vehicle. But of course, I don't have the full pricing lineup, including the hybrid, the N-Line, as well as the top N. That could sway my viewpoint just a little bit depending on the changes that they did make for the hybrid side of things, because the blue as well as the top Limited hybrid were also good values in the lineup. And of course, the hybrid Limited came standard with the ventilated front seats as well as the memory driver seat over that of the gas models. So I assume that will still be an exclusive feature to the Limited hybrids, but again, we will have to wait and see whenever they do release that full pricing information. And again, I will have that link down in the description below if you guys want to follow along. Hopefully that will be available in the next week or two, given that these vehicles are going to be arriving at dealerships, in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks or so. But again, we'll have to wait and see until we can generate either window stickers or have that full pricing guide. So that's pretty much going to do it for this video and all of the changes for the 2024 Elantra. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and or found something helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button below. It greatly helps out the channel and these videos. Subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed, and make sure to stay tuned for additional 2024 Elantra content coming as these vehicles hit dealership lots. I really don't think you can go wrong purchasing any trim level in the new Elantra lineup, as they are all very decent values. I just think depending on what you're looking for in a vehicle and some of the features and options that you're wanting, I think some are just a little bit better than others in terms of price point. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate the support and you guys watching. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.